Hello and welcome everyone to this live demo session on SAP Business Technology Platform Training with Cloud Application Programming Model on SAP BTP Cloud Foundry with Business Application Studio and VS Code. I personally welcome you all to this live demo session with me, Anubhav. In this live demo session, we are going to look at the basics of SAP BTP Cloud Foundry. We are going to talk about who is this training for, and what can you expect in next 40 hours of this journey? We are also going to discuss a live demo into the system with SAP BTP account. For this demonstration, I will be using today SAP BTP trial account, which is already set up by me. But in the next episode, I am going to show you how to set up your own BTP trial account. My name is Anubhav and I have total 18 years of experience in the world of SAP, and I have total 2 to 3 years of experience working on SAP Business Technology Platform. I have built variety of applications on SAP BTP, including Java-based, Node.js, ABAP-based, as well as cloud workflows. In this journey of BTP training, you will become an expert on SAP Business Technology Platform on development of different technologies which are non-ABAP based. You will get a complete idea of SAP BTP Cloud Platform and learn how to develop side-by-side extensions in SAP BTP connecting to your existing solution, as well as full stack application on SAP Business Technology Platform. So let's get started with the agenda of our today's episode. First, we will understand who is this training for, what is SAP BTP Cloud Foundry, what is Cloud Application Programming Model, a basic. Followed by that, we will see what do we do today, what is our scenario for today's session. Then we will discuss about some of the frequently asked questions by you all regarding this module, and then we will have live question and answers throughout this journey of this demo. Please allow me to speak for next 30 to 40 minutes, and then it's all yours to ask questions live into this session. So, who is this training for? Let's try to understand our developer persona in order to map ourselves better and prepare ourselves better for this training. So if you're working as an ABAP developer like Sumit Ghosh, who would like to deliver new innovations that are natively integrated with SAP application like S/4HANA on SAP BTP, for example, side-by-side extension, this training is certainly going to help you. If you are Neha Joshi, who's any SAP technical consultant, would like to work faster with latest development tools on SAP BTP like Business Application Studio, and want to also work latest frameworks like Cloud Application Programming Model along with basics of Node.js, this training is also going to help you. If you are Stevia Jack, who's a BTP developer already, or plan to work on BTP in near future, and would like to learn the BTP from scratch, have no clue about what BTP is, but would like to start developing cloud native application on HANA Cloud, this training is also going to help you. So we will be using Java and Node.js technology. You don't need to have prior experience on Java and Node.js to join this course. Finally, if you are like Mohan Garva, who's an SAP administrator, want to understand the security aspects and administration aspect of SAP BTP, cloud application, and understand also the connectivity basics, including Central Fiori Launchpad, this training is also going to help you. So let's talk about the another developer persona, for example, Alex. What can you expect from Alex if he's a BTP expert? So Alex is a software developer. He's a technical SAP advocate and also an SAP enthusiast. He's 30-year-old and he's done MS from computer science. So if you are also from technical background, not from finance, not from sales and distribution, you are at the right place. You are a developer who love coding like me, then you are certainly at a right place. So Alex has a skill of basics of ERP, data structure, programming language, understanding of basic of what is cloud, and basics of machine learning. These are the skills which Alex has. His area of work are right now S4HANA, Fiori. He has done a bit of Java or Node coding and understood the basics of databases, which is enough for him at the moment. His needs are today to design and develop cloud native solutions for his company. His company is also asking him to venture into new technology and explore them. Also, develop end-to-end solutions on SAP BTP. His main aim and goal is to adopt SAP BTP in his company and help his managers and the teams to understand what is possible, not possible, and key capabilities of SAP Business Technology Platform. So if you are in a similar situation or a dilemma where your company is asking or you are seeing a buzz around BTP and you would like to learn BTP and make your career into the direction of cloud, you are already at the right place. So in this training, we are going to learn end-to-end development on BTP, including administration and also the security aspects. So why we need BTP? What is BTP? So as you can see Alex on the screen once again, he would like to start developing a new application for one of his client. His client is Netflix. So today Netflix gave him a requirement to develop. Now, typically as a developer, what are all the things you would need to start developing applications? So the first thing you would need is a infrastructure, which includes networking, hardware, storage, server, and virtualization. So these are all the things which cloud provides directly as infrastructure as a service. So there are already players in the market which where you can go and rent out a computer with certain amount of memory and infrastructure out of the box. So Alex doesn't have to go market to purchase this hardware for his specialized development. He can directly get a cloud server with all these infrastructure needs. The second requirement Alex would need is runtime, middleware, database, and operating system. To build any essential component of a software, you would need that. And that's where we have the cloud offering called platform as a service comes into picture. Alex can go to one of the vendor, for example, SAP, to actually rent out a computer, which also provide all of these things out of the box. So overall, the life of Alex has become very simple by utilizing infrastructure from Amazon or platform from SAP. And that's exactly what BTP is all about. BTP is a platform as a service which provides development teams and developers to build applications which are cloud ready. It provides all the necessary services like tools, runtimes like Java, Node.js, ABAP, Cloud Foundry, including also the Kima runtime to develop natively integratable applications which are scalable and faster. It also provides databases like HANA Cloud, Redis, MongoDB, PostgreSQL as a services, and tools like Business Application Studio to quickly start development. So the life of Alex has become super simple. He has to now just only focus on application and the data. He doesn't have to worry about the underlying infrastructure as well as doesn't need to worry about the implementing open source technologies or runtimes. Everything comes out of the box. And that's where SAP BTP comes into picture. So if we combine the infrastructure and platform together, and Alex doesn't need to manage all of it, and that's where the real value of BTP will come. So if you see here, BTP is a fully ready landscape with reusable services, which offers scalability, elasticity, and low total cost of ownership or low total initial investment for developers, companies, and development teams to get started. So the predominant infrastructures which are offered on BTP underlying are GCP, Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud, and Azure. In the next episode, when I show you setting up BTP account, I will show you all the details about data centers and infrastructure. This is just a introductory session, a demo session. So that is why I'm not going too much in detail. So think of a computer running on internet somewhere, which has everything pre-installed, pre-configured for you to get started with your development. Amazing. And that's also powered by SAP. So SAP is providing you the platform, which is nothing but SAP BTP platform for developing cloud native application to developers like Alex. So finally, what does Alex has to focus? Alex has to just focus application and data. Isn't that simple and easy? Yes. So that's where the BTP comes into picture. So it's business technology platform. It's a platform as a service for allowing you, me, or developers like us to quickly start developing applications. There are different use cases. We can develop a complete full stack application. We can also develop integrations. We can as well as develop side by side extension to existing solutions. We are going to focus all three aspects of it in our training. So this is a quick introduction of the platform environment. So it is powered by Cloud Foundry, which is an open source guidance for implementing any platform as a service. It offers wide variety of runtimes and services, which you see at the middle of the box. It includes services related to the storage, related to the development, platform services for integration, data analytics, mobile integration, machine learning and collaboration, and also some built-in business services. It completely supports development tool like web-based interfaces like Business Application Studio. It offers the inbuilt services like Business API and also the cockpit to manage your complete account. It also has a marketplace where you can go and subscribe services directly from SAP. It provides integration of your on-premise solution or your software as a service solution like S4HANA, SuccessFactor, Hybris, Ariba, Concur, Fieldglass, and many more. It is built on top of infrastructure which is provided by one of the infrastructure provider, Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. So this is a very small introductory diagram for SAP BTP Cloud Foundry environment. As and when we continue our training, we are going to discuss a lot more in the detail in coming episodes. So stay tuned for my next episode where we will cover the introduction also in detail. Now, coming to this training, we are going to learn predominantly on frameworks. So the time is gone when we used to develop every small part of an application as a developer. We are living in 21st century where we have frameworks. The frameworks make life of a developer much easy by auto-generating most part of the application, and developer just has to focus on the real value which we want to add it to the business as a software. So SAP Cloud Application Programming Model is nothing but it's a collection of framework of languages, libraries, and tools for building enterprise grade service application. It is already based on golden proven path. So many a times you are confused which technology to choose, which database to choose, what is the right decision for my project? Is there any best practice provided by SAP? Is there any gold standard to develop application on SAP BTP? CAPM is exactly the same. It is a recommended approach by SAP to develop cloud native application, making your life also much easier because it comes packaged with languages, libraries, tools to build enterprise grade application on SAP BTP platform. So it is completely based on CDS programming model. So if you have worked on ABAP CDS, don't confuse. The conceptually the concept is same, but flavor is a bit different. So we will discuss that in our next slide once I create one small application for you. So CDS stands for Core Data and Services. It allows you to abstract from the real database or real technology. You can develop your application component in a database agnostic manner. It offers libraries and kits like at CDS DK, development kit libraries, which helps developers to generate most part of the application out of the box. It offers languages like Node.js, Java, and as well as open source application. And it comes with tool like Business Application Studio, where we can develop our application. So CAP-based projects benefit from a primary focus on domain, develop code in an agnostic way. So you do not need to worry about that today if you're using Postgre database, tomorrow you want to switch your database to, let's say, SQLite, and next day you want to switch your database to HANA. It will be super easy for you to port your application to any database at any given point of time without really changing too much part of the application or you need no need to redevelop your application again. So let's look at our scenario for today. In our today's session, we are going to talk about starting first our development tool, which is SAP Business Application Studio. In the second step, we are going to develop a small project with a database entity. So the use case today is to develop a simple application using CAP framework to display Netflix data of movies and shows. In the step 3, we are going to create a service because these days all the data over the browser is consumed via services. So we will create a small service which will run in the browser, and then we will add a bit of annotations to make our application. So it's going to be a Fiori application which you will see comes out at the end of the demo, which user can consume. So this will be a simple flow 4-step process to develop a small application for holding Netflix data. Let's go to the system and experience now. How can we develop? So I will switch over now to our development tool, which is SAP Business Application Studio. You can see this is our development tool, which look like a local computer for us. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to create a new terminal. You can see we are in a projects directory and I'm going to create a new project. So I create a new project, make directory, and let's call it as BTP demo. And I've just created a new project called BTP demo. So this is my project. Let me switch inside my project directory, change directory, CD command, and now I'm inside my project directory. So as a developer, whenever you want to design an application, you would think that what are all the components you need? Typically, you always start with the database, right? On top of database, then you will have something called your application logic. And then on top of application logic, you will have your services. And then finally, you will have user interfaces. For example, SAP UI5 or Fiori applications. So most part of the application structure you generate yourself. You create folders, you will add components, everything, and then you will let this application run. And tomorrow, if this database changes, you need to change a lot of code on most of these layers. It will be too much of maintenance for you. But CAP is a framework which kind of very well managed in a way that you can develop in a database agnostic manner. So today maybe you're using some database, tomorrow you want to change the database, it will be super easy for without changing too much of code of application. But in addition to that, it provides tools and framework to quickly generate your project artifact out of the box. So let me show you that. I'm going to now generate the basic skeleton of my application, and I just write a command called cds init, and that's it. Congratulations. You can see the basic skeleton of my project is generated out of the box. Wow. Isn't that amazing? So this command which I use comes from CDS development kit. We are going to talk about it later in detail in our training sessions. But right now, just assume it's a demo session. So just to go with the flow to understand what capability does it have and how exactly we develop a end-to-end application in just another 10 to 20 minutes using this framework. Yes, we are living in 21st century. Bye-bye to all the classical ways of developing application. We have the tools, we have the framework, libraries, which quickly take over most of the task away from the developer, and developer only focus on the domain. So the first part, I'm going to develop a database table. Let me go ahead and create a new file, and it is based on CDS. So CDS stands for Core Data and Services. We're going to discuss this in Unit 13 in detail. There is a dedicated 2-hour lecture only on CDS. So let me create first data model .cds file. Every file ends with CDS extension, which is then compiled by the CAP framework to generate the necessary artifacts. And now I would like to add a table inside. So I'm going to right click, open this file in a graphical modeler where I can quickly generate most of the things in a graphical way. No need to write too much of coding. So I click on add entity. An entity gets created. Let me name this entity. So I'm going to create a database table to store Netflix data. So I call it as Netflix underscore titles. And I'm just going to add the properties. So I'm going to change, and let me add here this property as a string. So you can change the data type of my property. We can additionally provide the length. So let's say 20 characters. So I'm okay. And let me add more properties, more columns to my database table. So I'm just going to go and click on edit entity, and we can add more and more columns. So I'm going to add the type property, type of the show. Is it a movie or is it a series? So let's put it as 1000 or 100 character. I will put the title of the series. So that's going to be up to 1000 characters. Then who was the director? Yes. Then we have the country to which it belongs to, which country this movie or show was released, what is the year in which it was released. So a string 50 will be good. Then we have rating. What was the rating? And then we have the duration of the show or the movie in minutes. So this will be a integer 64 data type. And finally, we will put description. So I'll put description up to 2000 character. Fantastic. So that's my table, and you can see I've marked key as ID. Yes, let me change this to small ID, and I click on update. That's all. I have just created a database table in just 5 minutes. In fact, in coming classes, I'm going to show you complex data model where we'll have multiple table and lots of relationship between these database table. We are also going to do that in coming classes. So let me first save. And now I would like to actually also load demo data. So in the past, if you want to upload demo data, you got to write additional programming code to basically load data from Excel first in your collection or in your internal table, and then from there you loop over the data and push it by one to your database table. Bye bye to all of that. Capum understand it. Capum knows it that yes, as a developer, I need mock data, demo data, and I would like to use CSV file to upload the same. You just need to create a CSV folder inside the DB directory and upload your file, upload your CSV file. That's it. You can right click and you can import a file, upload a file, and I've already created a file for you guys, which I upload here. Superb. That's it. Congratulations. And now we are um, ready to test this table. To do that, now we are going to use a small database. It's called SQLite database. SQLite is a small lightweight database which is based on file system. Yes, so we can use that. It's already inbuilt. The dependency is inbuilt when we generated the basic project. We just can compile and deploy this database table with the demo data now. So we can just say CDS deploy. This command is used to deploy dash dash to SQLite, and my database name is Anubhav. So I press enter, and you can see a new Anubhav database file got created. You see a file got created. So all the data will be loaded in this table, and the data is inserted in that table from my CSV file as well. Yes, wow. So next step is I would like to now create a service out of it. So we can go to SRV folder, and let me create a new file called catalog service.cds. So everything, all the files in here ends with extension .cds. And now we are just going to say that we are going to use my Netflix titles database table from my folder, DB folder, data model CDS. So please use this database table to expose a service. And let me define my service. And I can say catalog service, and we are just going to expose an entity out of it. So entity name will be Netflix. Let me Netflix set You can just put anything. I can say Anubhav set as an entity name, and I will expose my database table, which is nothing but Netflix titles. Superb. That's it. Congratulations. And right after you add this, you can again need to deploy, because the system behind the scene will create a view corresponding to your service in the database table from where it projects all the data. So in coming episodes, when we learn CAPM in detail, we'll talk about exit handlers, custom handlers, adding validations, create, update, delete, draft functionality. There is a lot which is happening in the space of CAP, and anything which you need typically to develop an application is all over there. Yes. Now, in addition, I will also go back to the code mode for my entity, and I will provide title property for all my properties. So we use something called @ It's called annotation, and we're going to give a title for my columns, type of show or type of OTT content. And then next I will add title, show title. So this will be displayed to the user when the user is actually running the application. So this important semantic information we are embedding inside the data model. Yes. So like this, there are so many other annotation which we are going to discuss in coming classes in our training. So let me add these titles: year, rating, and I'll say duration and description. All right, cool. Let's deploy. Okay, so now we can right away test the application. We are ready. Yes, that's it. To run this application, we run a command called cds run, and this is going to start a web application and going to serve our service. So this is the Business Application Studio tool. I will also be teaching VS Code tool, which is basically used to even develop application locally in your computer. If you do not have internet connection, still you can develop CAP application in your local machine. And that's how we're going to also learn VS Code development tool in our coming episodes. So let's start this application. I say open, and you see the app is started. I've got a service Anubhav set. I can click. You can see this is my entity, and it has created by default a service for us. Yes, that's the best part. Now, one thing I noticed that when I click, there is no data. You can see it's empty. So the reason why the data is not uploaded perhaps is because of the name of the table. The table name which you create must exactly match with the name of the CSV file. Only then the data will get uploaded. So you can see while typing the data, I have done a small mistake. So I have just forgotten a T, Netflix. Yeah. So that was my bad. So let me correct that. And I'm just also going to go back here to add this Netflix over here to correct it. And then let's do the redeployment. I'm sorry, redeploy. And you can see this time also I get a message successfully deployed, and also it says init from this database file. Superb. So let's run again, cds run. So we are also going to learn about security in BTP, how to secure your application. We learn concepts like XSUAA, application router, working with the application security roles. All of this will be part of your training in our detailed training. Okay, so done. Let's go back and test once again. And this time when I run, wow, amazing. We've got all the data. By default, it creates a OData service of version 4. We will also learn about how to create a compatible service for version 2, just in case you wanted to develop using Fiori application something. Yeah. So that also we will be learning in our detailed training. Moving on, now we can also see directly a Fiori app preview. So basically it creates a Fiori application out of the box. And when I go there, a app is ready, and I can just add filter, suppose country, show title, and year. Okay. And we can also add columns like ID, director, country, title, type of content, and year of content. I click OK. And you can see I've got my shows, and I can just search, let's say, all the ones which are published in India. So no extra coding, no select query, nothing needs to be written. You can support these things out of the box, and it searches the support, and you see all the available movies and shows in India with the different directors is right over there on your screen. Superb. And you have a Excel export to export the data right away. So all the slicing, dicing, and also drill down, including searching, sorting, is out of the box available when it comes to this application, what it has generated. So in a very less time, we were able to create a beautiful, simple application. We can add transactional capabilities to this application in coming episodes. This is just a demo today to give you a basic idea of how can we leverage this CAPM framework to develop our cloud native application. And I do not expect any prior knowledge or experience on programming languages if you are new. Just basic idea of programming, if you have, you can get started. So let's move on to some of the frequently asked questions. Do I need to have prior knowledge on BTP or Cloud Foundry? No. We will cover the basics of Cloud Foundry and BTP Foundation also for you in this training. How much is Java and Node.js knowledge is required? Only basic skills of programming is required. We will cover the basics of Java, frameworks, and Node.js for you, along with the development tool setup also. So I will spoon feed you everything to those who are joining. If you are especially in a BAPR, I know you do not have experience on these technologies. I understand your pain, and I will certainly help you out. We will be covering all these basics of programming also for you. I'm an app consultant. Can I learn BTP? Yes, and you must learn, because in the future, or any cloud project which you willing to do, perhaps you would need to use BTP in your future project. And that's the reason today you are also in the demo, because we need BTP knowledge. This is a development track training, essential for all developers willing to work on BTP in coming future or forced to work on BTP in coming future. You need this training. How much deep knowledge of BAS is required? No prior experience on BAS. We will cover the setup of VS Code and BAS tool in the next class. You don't need to know what BAS is. You don't need to know what BTP is. Everything we will cover, including setup, in our next episode. What about server access? So server is free for 365 days. We will be using SAP BTP trial account for performing all the activities, including security. So you will be able to learn, and this will be very much similar when you go to a productive environment for developing application. Do I also cover the cloud connector and security? Yes, we will be covering topics for administration, including security, XSUAA, managed and unmanaged app router, HTML5 repositories. We will also cover the concept of backing services, service keys, how to handle BTP projects end to end, including Git. We will also be covering. How is this course? How much time we going to spend on CAPM? So specifically, if you talk, almost 50% of the time we spend on CAPM with Node.js in this training. Remaining 50% includes administration, BTP introduction, setup, architecture, security concepts, S4HANA integration, setting up cloud connector, and all those administration stuff, including Java and Java-based development with the Spring Boot framework we will cover as part of this training. So that is the remaining 50%. So basically end-to-end package with everything you need to become an expert on BTP development. Do I need a prior OData experience? No, I will provide complimentary OData session. OData is just nothing but what you saw was a service which was created out of the box. So that was a service. So we'll cover basics of OData for you. Can I take this course in video mode as the timing doesn't suit me? For sure. You can start with video mode track and you can learn through the videos. And if you have doubts and questions too much, you can come to the live class and ask them. What tools do we use in this training? We will be using BAS tool, predominantly Business Application Studio. We will also use VS Code tool and also Cloud Foundry CLI, apart from STS tool for Spring Suite and Spring development using Java. How to join this course? Very important question. Just send us an email on contact@anubhavtrainings.com to subscribe and join this training. That will be suffice enough to be part of this journey and the training. So that's it from my side for this demo session. I hope you enjoyed today's demo session. Once again, thank you so much for joining today's class. please feel free to send out an email to us on contact@anubhavtrainings.com. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. So that's the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed the demo. I hope to see you in my next class, next live session tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.